Hey, this is Brian, and we are going to take a look at ways to create your Google folders through Google Drive and your Google Calendars. And this will be useful to a lot of churches and schools that I work with. And we'll just go through the simple steps to get them usable and on a website. All right, so we're in Google Drive. It'll start with nothing here. We're going to create a new folder. And I like to create a staff shared folder first. And what we'll do on that one is share it. And we're going to share it with other people, so we'll just share it with this person, and this person can now edit that website. I'm actually going to cancel that because I don't want that person to edit it, but that's how you would share with the other people. Now inside the staff shared, where everybody can edit, you can create, so you be on that staff shared, create a new folder, and let's say website. Now everybody that has access to the staff shared will also have access to the website folder unless you change those permissions. Now if you don't want to create a staff shared, it's not a big deal. It's nice to one time set up a folder that everybody has access to all the subfolders automatically. It can be really useful, but it also might be too much for your particular organization. So anyhow, we have a folder, and all the folders have their own settings for sharing as well. So by default it would be shared with those other people to edit, and private, so no one else can see it. But let's take a look at the settings here, and instead of worrying about who's going to edit, we're still going to click on it, but we're not going to add the people to edit. What we're going to do is change this from private to public on the web. Now you wouldn't want to create a main folder that's public on the web if it's going to be staff shared elements that you want to keep within your staff, obviously, but this is a subfolder, and anything below it will automatically take on the public on the web. So once you create the website one, then you can have a newsletters one below it, and whatever else, and you might have to make sure that it's also shared, but generally I think that's the way it's created, so everyone can view it. You don't want to let them organize, add, and edit to this, so do it like that. It gives you a sharing link, but you don't really have to use that particular link, and in fact when I embed them on websites, that one I don't think would work as well. Alright, so we have this now shared folder. You see the little person there because it's shared, and basically all you have to do is click on that folder, make sure you're in it, and now you have the link to that particular folder. And this last section here is what I would use if I embed this. But now we can go to another browser where it's not shared specifically with this person. It says shared with me, but it's just because it's public and it's created by Lutheran Radio. And that's it. You put files in there and they show up. Again, it can be that could be your newsletters folder or forms for school, that kind of thing. And you might want to make sure that each thing is each element that you're going to use is in a different folder that is also shared, and you have the link to each one. Now with that link, instead of just putting it into a browser, you can have a hyperlink on a website. I know how to embed them, and sometimes that works out alright, but I usually also put the hyperlink because sometimes Google folders don't embed perfectly on websites anyhow. and it's good to link right out to it. And that's mostly it for Google Drive, as far as just setting up the folders in a way that would be usable for a website. Now, Calendar is similar in that you want to share what you create, but you don't want to create something up here right away, so you'll probably won't have much here when you first set up your account. So let's just say we're going to create a new calendar, and then you would give that name and description. And I don't know if they give you a whole bunch of other, let's just create one and see. So you're creating a calendar. So it'll give you this option down here to configure it. The calendar settings. Alright, so this is under calendar settings. So you're going to go to settings for my calendars, and actually I'll just show you the other way to get to that. So here, it'll do that when you first create it, but if you already have a folder created and you want to change it, you go to settings over here, and then you click on the calendar that you want to change, and now you have all of your settings for that. So let's just scroll down and see what we want. We're going to make it available to the public. It'll make it visible, yes. You can also do it as a shareable link, but that's a little bit more complicated and it can't be embedded nicely on a website. So let's see, if you go to integrate calendar, now we have the ability to have a link on a website. So instead of sending it out to everyone all the time, you can just put it on a website. I would use something like this embed code, and I often will customize that so you can have it be the whole month, but you can also do it as an agenda, or it would be just what's going on. I think when you do that, you have to hit the update the HTML. Yeah, I'm not sure. I can get it into agenda format, I know. Oh, here it is. That's the default view. There we go. So then that would be the HTML for it. So, but then the month one I usually put like on a full page on a website. But that's the embeddable calendar, and what the people on the website would be seeing. But once they go to the website and then they see it, it should give them the option down here to add the Google Calendar to their own calendar. So we've done that, like with our school, added all the kids' sports and everything to our own calendar. It's a little bit complicated if you try to do it on mobile. I think you got to sync all your devices, and it gets a little confusing. But if you only have the one or maybe two for your church and school, and it's not going to be a whole lot of problems with that. All right, so you have this would be what you put on a website. The other one that I showed before was just the link if you want to link out from somewhere, or put that in a newsletter, or just on the website to link out to the calendar. It doesn't look as nice, but that's also how people can get to it. Or also for if your web developer says, hey, I need the link to your calendar, you can send that person both of these, and should know how to manipulate those for you. So that is Google Drive and Google Calendar, how to get things set up and started. I hope that's useful. Thanks.